Hello and welcome back to the Blind Guy Gaming News. Today I've got important Xbox One exclusives of E3 2014. So E3 is in America at the moment, or is it? Yeah, I think it's still on. Not sure, but it started on Monday, 8th of no. It's 9th of June. So the first show they did was Microsoft, who showed all of their games that are coming towards coming for Microsoft games made by Microsoft publisher developers. So here is a list of things after his injury. So there has been plenty of great and or interesting Xbox One games already this year, from the smiling chaos of Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare to the robot paper scissors of Titanfall. But all too predictably, E3 has managed to make us forget all about them. Microsoft showcased a dazzling array of Xbox One exclusives, some doubtless timed, some console exclusives, at its conference on Monday. Here are those that have diverted us to the most in ascending order. Thanks to Joe and Paul for chipping in with a few thoughts. Bookmark our Xbox E3 hub for all the news that happens, because they did the whole stream is actually on Xbox with the live events. So that's how most people are watching it. That's how I was watching Polaris after it happened on Monday. Actually, it might have been Tuesday I was watching it. They did a thing like Machinima did last year, where they had them talking while they were watching the stream, so obviously they added more entertainment. So the first one is at 11 is Phantom Dust. Since time immemorial, human beings have yearned to inflict terrible injuries using a simple pack of playing cards. Now's your chance. Phantom Dust began life on the original Xbox and is the work of Crimson Dragon and Panzer Dragoon creator Yukio Futatsugi. If the reboot is anything like the original, it'll be a fast-paced, real-time RPG that takes place in a world reminiscent of Silent Hill, where you choose spells and abilities from an enormous deck. Phil Spencer appears to have green-lighted the thing very recently, following a wave of fan requests. He was discussing it with Futatsugi in November 2013. It's a good omen as regards Microsoft's sensitivity to the Xbox community. At number 10, Fable Legends. There isn't a whole lot new to say about Fable Legends in the wake of this year's E3, though we were at least finally able to play it. All eyes on OXM Team Los Angeles for the verdict. Still, the game continues to be very promising, a sort of oldie worldly take on Left 4 Dead, in which 4 AI or human-controlled heroes battle a single villain who arranges obstacles and enemies in top-down view. The new Fable looks stunning, and we're intrigued by all the talk of an older, darker Albion, in which villages just out of the wilderness like fragile, firelit islands. I've seen the gameplay, it's great. So they were doing it on the stream where they had obviously 4 co-op players playing around, devs playing, while they had a villain choosing where to put his enemy. So the villain isn't actually in attack mode, he's just like a third person looking down. He can spawn any of his enemies. I don't think you can just spam it, but you can just place right in front of an enemy, like spawn them, and then obviously the people on the ground who are playing the 4 co-op, they are able to obviously fight. On 9, Forza Horizon 2. I did do a video on Forza Horizon, I believe. I've never played any Forza, I don't think. No, I haven't bought any Forza, as far as I know. Forza Horizon 2 appears to be Forza Horizon, but bigger, sunnier, rainier, more sociable, and crisper. We're cheating a little by including it here, I must admit. There's a version in all the works for Xbox 360, created by Sumo Digital and of Sonic and Sega All-Stars fame. But Playground's Xbox One version is very much the focus. It runs on a completely different engine and looks utterly gorgeous. We sometimes struggle to distinguish one racing game from the next. Most of them rely on same licenses, after all, but Horizon 2's quasi-fictional Southern European setting and lovely lighting effects set it apart. They also did as this is Forza, I think on Forza Horizon 1, there is if you've got it, there's a free Nürburgring DLC. It was released on Monday. They actually released it on the show, obviously on the conference. So it is available now. It's free. They used millimeter cameras to do every single detail of the track. I know Nuremberg is massive. I can't remember how many miles it is. I think it's 30 odd. The whole track. It is that actual whole track. So yeah, that'll be a long track racing. They've actually gone out and tracked it millimetre by millimetre. So, as you tour the world, you'll see the sky change colour believably as rays hit a 3D simulation of our atmosphere at different angles. It's every bit as impressive a technical showpiece as Forza 5, but much more carefree in terms of the core mechanics and activities. That's a combination that could work well over Christmas, particularly in the absence of a new Need for Speed. For Paul, who is a editor, I think, of OXM, he says, Forza Horizon 2 looks and feels nothing less than blissful. Roll on September for more meaty drifts in gorgeous motors along an azure coast or through a hayfield. The hayfield is for rally, so they do have rally cars on Forza Horizon 2. I've seen that as well. That was quite fun, seeing obviously rally going off the track and into a hayfield. 8. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. Finally a game that combines the pastel colours of a Valentine's Day gift card with the dread and despair of interplanetary war. Created by Asteroid Base, Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time sees you exploring the galaxy aboard a spherical pink spaceship, jumping from terminal to operate thrusters, lasers, shields and turrets. The game is built for 2 players, obviously, but you can play it alone if you're feeling brave. Star systems are procedurally generated and your ship can be customized in a variety of ways by affixing gems to the hull, so this should have plenty of replay value. It's definitely one of the most impressive IDE at Xbox offerings. Joe's take. There are fair few games about not being good enough at driving spaceships now. Space Team, Space Cadets, other games with space in tow, but none on Xbox. Until now, there's something about toddling panicked across your tiny neon Death Star, only to blast your death across the surface of the planet of bunnies you're trying to save. That makes losing feel so worthwhile. So the next one is 7. Inside. This really could have done with more of an airing at Microsoft's E3 conference. It's the next game from Playdead, creator of the appalling, brilliant Limbo for Xbox Live Arcade, and appears to draw on many of the same ideas as its predecessor. The visuals are largely monochrome with the occasional faint glow of colour. Threats are to be avoided, not confronted, and the world could be either a near future dystopia or an intensely metaphysical dream. We haven't really heard from Playdead in years. Will this game put them back on the map? Jake's take? Let's face it, Limbo wasn't long enough, and it had that rubbish gravity switching section at the end. So another Playdead game that does essentially the same atmospheric work in a new context is all I really needed. 6. Ori and the Blind Forest, a brand beautiful new IP from a brand new studio, Moon, which immediately calls to mind Studio Ghibli's Princess Mononoke on the one hand and the Castlevania series on the other. According to the developer, writing a narrative and characters that move the player is a top priority. We're tempted to mandate that, however, reviews Ori is forbidden from shedding tears. The reveal trailer, in which Ori loses a friend and faces off against a giant demonic owl, certainly plucks at the heartstrings. How does it play? Well, you explore a large, seamlessly loading world, unlocking abilities that allow you to tackle an increasingly deadly array of puzzles. It probably won't shift many hardware bundles, but we're delighted that Microsoft is backing indie titles of this sophistication and stature. 5. Scalebound. We love Platinum games. We love the developer's ability to blend difficulty and tastelessness without somehow conjuring any army of sexy robot tentacle demons from the bowels of Osaka. We adore Bayonetta, the game where your bodysuit periodically disappears into another dimension in order to emerge from a vortex as massive feet in high heels. And we are struck, if not entirely blown away, by Vanquish's caffeinated take on Gears of War, in which all headshots are performed from a groin-ripping squat in slow motion. And thus, we're tickled pink by the announcement of Scalebound, a third-person action game that purports to discover new extremes of scale, in which you either kill or ride around on town-sized dragons and chimeras. It's probably not going to sell consoles in Japan, but it's pretty conclusive proof that Microsoft employs Japanese games. At least Joe has a theory about Scalebound, incidentally. Joe's take. I'm not saying Hideki Kamiya lives for my writing about his games. I'm just saying that every time I join a platform-specific magazine, he announces an exclusive for that console. He can keep doing that, then because he makes the best games on the planet. And if this is the monster riding co-op action game the trailer makes me think it is, I'm all in. 4. The one we've been waiting for. It's had 2 games at the moment, but this is Crackdown. Crackdown was a cult hit propelled to temporary stardom by a Halo 3 beta key that failed to flower into something greater. The real-time worlds developed original pretty much invented the idea of superpowered characters clowning around in an open world, freed of narrative constraints, unable to upgrade their skills simply by doing things. The sequel, alas, was an infamous rush job, and the franchise has been off-radar ever since. Not much is known about the Xbox One reboot, but the teaser trailer suggests that the biggest new feature is Battlefield-style real-time terrain destruction. Microsoft's decision to bring this back may have as much to do with the trumpeting the Xbox Live Cloud as pleasing richer heads. Phil Spencer has confirmed that the remote processing demo on show at this year's Build conference makes use of early Crackdown Xbox One tech. The game is being developed with the aid of cloud giant who aim to deliver rendering and processing power from the cloud, allowing game creators to define new, groundbreaking online gaming mechanics. The latter's president is Dave Jones, founder of the now defunct Real-Time Worlds. The pieces are falling into place. Paul's take. Can't wait for the Crackdown on Xbox One, as I wonder if there's enough room for original open world mayhem creator in the wake of Sunset Overdrive and every other open world since 2007. But hey, just show me where the orbs are. Joe's take. I bet you can't do any of the stuff we saw in the teaser, but if I'm wrong. Number 3. It's had 4 main franchise titles and also 2 off one, Halo Wars and Halo ODST. You know what I'm talking about? Halo 5 Guardians, which I did a video on before. So this is at 3. This will be top of the list, but we know next to nothing about it. The next numbered Halo introduces a new anonymous Spartan, offers a multiplayer component that appears to be a return to roots and runs on a new engine that's capable of 60 frames a second. It'll be huge obviously, but you'll have to wait till the beta in December to find out how exactly it takes the franchise forward. Joe's take. No, we've still seen barely anything, but somehow I remain interested in that quick burst of mic chatter at the start of the beta trailer. Are they aiming for a more collaborative multiplayer experience than Halo's traditionally offered? 2. Still in the Halo franchise? Halo the Master Chief Collection. You wait all year for a new Halo game and then 4 roll up at once. There aren't new games of course, but given that many of the people reading this may have been born when Halo 2 appeared on Xbox Live, it's probably safe to say that they'll feel fresh. Besides the titles included have been comprehensively updated, they all run in 1080p at 60 frames a second. Combat Evolved's original multiplayer is now playable on Xbox Live for the very first time, and Halo 2 has been given the full anniversary remaster treatment. Most interestingly of all, perhaps, each game returns with its original approach to multiplayer and signature innovations intact. You can dual wield in Halo 2, but not Halo, for instance, and the 4th game's armor abilities won't appear in the 3rd. Thus, we'll be able to compare and contrast divergent strands of Halo DNA directly via the same hub menu, with crisper visuals and mouth-watering thought if you're a Halo hobbyist. There's also the cunningly couched prospect of a plot overlap with Guardians, whose new lead character seemingly aims to follow in the Chief's footsteps, exceeding perhaps his greatest achievements. So when you buy the Master Chief Collection, you're basically letting your personality merge a bit with that of the hero of Halo 5. So delightfully meta. Joe's take. The energy sword secreted away underneath Lockout. Sold. So if you do buy the collection as well, you will also get free the series, Halo series, that they're coming out with. It's not by Steven Spielberg. That'll be coming later. We haven't really heard anything about that. But yeah, that'll be coming out later. But if you buy the collection, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, and also you get 5 when you buy that separately. I think it's only the 4 you get in the pack. But they're all remastered, like 1, 2. They weren't in HD when they were on the Xbox, original Xbox. But they've been updated up to 1080p at 60 frames per second, so that's great. Machinima said that there'll be over 100 maps in total for multiplayer, which is a bit stupid to be be perfectly honest. Because if but then that'll be great actually, because I'm not sure how they work, if they're actually single games, or you can just switch between the maps or not. I'm not really sure, but you will have 100 game maps to play on Halo over all of the Halos. Obviously, number one never had Xbox Live, so there isn't any multiplayer on one, but you get to play the career mode. And then you have, obviously, number two, Halo 2, which did have Xbox Live. It was the first one to have Xbox Live, because that was when it first came over. And then, yeah. So number one, you've been waiting for in this program, Sunset Overdrive. I love this video of the start of it. It looks good. It's really weird, 'cause like, you don't know what it's going to be when you look at the trailer for the first time. You see the soldier on his own inside this warehouse, and then all of a sudden these bad guys come in, start firing, and then another surprise is this guy comes flying in and kills them all. Kills all the enemies. And then after that he starts talking to the camera as we're like watching him do what he does, and then you go and control him in an open world against aliens. So Sunset Overdrive. Was it only a year ago that we were lambasting Insomniac's first Xbox 360 title? The initially promising but sadly average Fuse. Because Sunset Overdrive couldn't be more dramatic, a comeback if it were Gandalf stepping out of the light after a spell in heaven with some dye and hair straighteners. The new open world action game is Crackdown's obvious spiritual heir, much to the dismay of Crackdown itself, no doubt. And we're ranking it top of this list simply because it's a hardcore Xbox gun game that wants to make you laugh. It's not serious at all. It's challenging, but in the sense that we're challenged to do creative things with the tools available. It's intensively sociable with support for 8 players co-op. It's relentlessly self-aware with respawn skits that lean on pop culture and excitable dashes of onomatopoeia. And it's apparently a tour de force of cloud power, with all sorts of persistent online elements ticking away in the background. World updates in response to how large groups of players behave, for example. We can't wait to see more. Joe's take. Insomniac finally claimed my heart at E3 by showing off So's grind-enabled environmental weaponry. It's finally enough for me to believe that they're offering something new beyond slightly gangly protagonists. Plus, in the absence of EA announcing a new skate, even helped stem my constant weeping. So that is it for this episode. It's going to be a long episode, but yeah, I needed to put all that information into this video. So see you next time, and subscribe, like and comment if you want. That'll be helpful. See you next time. Bye.